And here we are again. It's another Thursday night. It's the STC. It's the Sim Racing Team Challenge. It's round number 7. We're into the second half of the tournament, and we're at the GMT-DH racing race at Donington GP. This is your friendly voice, Eckhard von Glan, speaking to you from the north of Germany, but live on air all around the world. And with me tonight is technical wizard and cameraman par excellence, Jose Estrada. Hi, Jose.
Hello, good night, everybody.
And with me too, on double duty tonight, doing the safety car, but also doing the commentary together with me is also David Garcia from Spain. Hi, David. David, you're awfully silent. You gotta change some settings in your computer, or we're not gonna hear very much from you. Well, be that as it may, here we are then with the standings of the tournament so far, and we've seen some highly exciting races, and it's a huge battle up at the front. Leading the pack at the moment, the Roaring Pipes Maniacs with 249 points, but very close behind GMT-DH Racing, 240 points. Then a gap there opening to the FlatOut Club, the black and yellow racers in 173 points. The Black Rebels, who started it all, position number 4 with 157 points. Black Visor Motorsports, even though they missed the first 2 races in America, already up to 136 points, and they're fielding their superstar Tim Hogendoorn tonight, and so gonna get possibly a lot of points. FlatOut Junior, the junior team of the FlatOuts, brilliant position there for them in position number 6, 113 points. My own team, the Blue Flag Racing, in position number 7, 109 points. DHR Fan Attack, that's the junior team of the GMT-DH Racing. They are in 8 with 93 points. The Francophone team, Team GG, who fielded their fastest guy would be Giddy last time round. They're up to 72 points, position number 9. And then Team Amy Racing, the grey and green Corvettes, up there or down there in 10 with 55 points. And Team Northern Ireland, I'm afraid to say, seem to have left the series. They're down at 13 points, and Torn Motorsports haven't put in a single appearance. And this might just as well be the time to announce that starting from next race, we have a new team with us, and that is the Danielson Motorsport Virtual, short DMSB. And I think in the course of the broadcast, Jose will tell me a little bit about how he got them into this very great series and how this very prestigious team came to join us. So, those were the standings. I suppose, Jose, we should go out on the track and watch a lap so I can show you around virtual Donington. Is that a good idea?
It is, Eckhard, it is. Let's do it with one of the home drivers, with Jack Keithley. It's in P2 at this moment, in the warm-up.
And there we are with Jack Keithley, one of the home drivers, GMT-DH racer. He's fielding one of the Marcos Marcorellys in the blue and silver and black. Brilliant skin that they provided here. And right now he's in the last track of the turn, and he's entering the start and finish straight. He'll be passing the GamePosters.net big advertisement now, and down the straight, which is called the Wheatcroft Straight, and into Redgate. This is where the old track joined the track that we're doing now. Then out of Redgate, difficult one actually, now into the quick downhill section. The crater curves here, turn 2 and turn 3. And he's passing turn 3 now, touching the ground there a bit, and then into turn 4 is what used to be the old hairpin. Out of turn 4 and into a passage called Starkey's Brigade. Yeah, that's turns 5 and 6, and now up to 7 McLean's. That's a really nasty turn. Got a nice little bit of sand on the outside, so you can really get stuck there. And here's the worst one of them all. That's Coppice. Across and a blind spot there, and you got to really fully trust either your talent or your ride. And then you go down Starkey's Straight. That's under the Dunlop tire, and then into the brake zone of the S's. In the background you can see the shorter track, but we're on the GP track here, so leaving the S's, it's down Shields Straight, and then into Melbourne Hairpin. That's where we picked up the broadcast. couple of seconds back. And that is the penultimate turn here, the hairpin, and then up again, that's basically behind the pits. And then round Goddard's turn 11, that's also where the Donington Race Museum is in real life. And then you can see, oh, that's nice, he's moving into the pit, so there you can see also the pit entrance here at Donington. Well, that was a lap around Donington with Jack Keithley of the GMT-DH Racers, and he is in fact the guy who won the qualification. But I think right now it's time for a moment of silence and the national anthem of Great Britain, since this track is in real life situated in Great Britain. Should we have the anthem, Jose? And that was, of course, the national anthem of Great Britain, God Save the Queen, or the King, whoever is ruling at the moment. This takes us to the grid, doesn't it? And I can see that the safety car is still in the pits, but some of the racers you will already find on the grid. And in position number 1, the guy who won the qualification, that's Jack Keithley, none other than him. We just followed him around the track, and he's sitting up there happily on the pole position for his home team for GMT-DH Racers. They seem to have set their sights here on clinging to their position number 2, or even removing the Roaring Pipes Maniacs from position number 1. In position number 2, Tim Hogendoorn of the Black Visors with a time of 1:31.299. Let me give you that time for Jack Keithley again. It was 1:31.151, so pretty close. In 3, the first of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, that's Rami Kaukola. And he was also the fastest guy in the warm-up, so it's going to be a very, very close race up there front. His time was 1:31.4. Then Andrew Kisielewski of the FlatOut Racers in 4. Ben Buitendijk, the founder and leader, so to speak, of the Black Rebels in 5. And he won the race here the last time round, so this is the track that he likes. Then Reis Notemboom for GMT-DH Racing in 6. Michael Hallen, my technical co-commentator here sometime, again for the Black Rebels in position number 7. Tom Ilsbrooks for FlatOut in 8. Mike Wrightson for the DHR Fun Attack in 9. Kevin Clark for the FlatOut Juniors in 10. And we can now see David Garcia moving the safety car to the front of the grid, and very slowly now they're onto the opening lap. I was stuck at position number 10 on the grid. That was Kevin Clark for the FlatOut Juniors. In 11 it's Gary Lennon, the second of the Black Visor Spikers. In 12, we have Carl Dubois for the DHR Fan Attack. In 13, the first of my team of the Blue Flag Racers, that's Krzysztof Babic in 13. And then Matt Gray for the Eni Racers in 14. In 15, Christer Larsson again for Blue Flag Racing. And then Dirk Bertram in 16 again for Eni Racing. Almost brings us to the back of the grid here. It's Roberts for FlatOut Junior in 17. And then Maxence Cholet for the team GG in 18, and big surprise, Kevin Usher for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs in 19. Something must have gone awfully wrong in his qualifications. I didn't see it on the screen. I don't know if he actually went out or we just simply skipped the qualifications for whatever reason. He is down in 19, and also no lap posted for the racer in 20. That's Paul Bordeaux for Team GG. And they're all out now on the track. They're in the opening lap. Jack Keithley in front, following David Garcia in the Sim Racing Team Challenge safety car. And let's see if they're all on the grid. And there they go, down the line and across the start and finish straight, and the race is open. Tim Hogendoorn in 2, Keithley in 1, and followed by Kisielewski in 3, because Kaukola had to leave the server. Disaster strikes for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs in lap number 1. Hogendoorn now very close behind Keithley. Hogendoorn behind Keithley. They're going down the trainer curves for the first time now through the old hairpin, and Hogendoorn still hot on the heels of Jack Keithley. But Keithley clinging to his position number 1, defending now. Hogendoorn on the inside, but it's the outside on the next turn, so that was not exactly the best line to take. He has to draw back there. And now in the approach to Coppice. Will he try anything in Coppice? That would be highly dangerous. No, he definitely won't. He might set up a move at the end of the first long straight as they go down Starte straight now. And Hogendoorn in position number 2, Keithley in 1, and a gap there to the FlatOut racer in number 3, that is Andrew Kisielewski. And they're through the assets for the first time. It looks great in the back. Everything seems to have sorted out in the first lap. And Hogendoorn still in 2, and Keithley in 1. And I think that if Jack Keithley survives the first lap here, Hogendoorn is a wizard in the first lap. If he survives the first lap, we're going to be fine also for the rest of the race. Sorry guys if I shut up for a moment there. I had a freeze on my screen, but I'm back with you here in the battle at Donington. And while my screen was freezing, Keithley has put a little distance between his Marcos Marcorelly and between the virtual spiker of Tim Hogendoorn. So let's see what's happening at further down the grid. Let's see how the racers got off to a start. Hogendoorn in 2. We're moving down the grid, Jose. It's Kisielewski in 3 for FlatOut. It's Ben Buitendijk in 4 for the Black Rebels. It's Reis Notemboom in 5 for the GMT-DH racers. It's Michael Helen in 6, the second of the Black Rebels. And it's Tom Ilsbrooks for FlatOut in 7, and that is where the first real gap on the grid opens up. It's Gary Lennon in 8 for the Black Visors. It's Carl Dubois in 9 for Fanatec. It's Krzysztof Babic in 10 for the blue flag racers. Sorry, don't know my own team, because I was so surprised because Kevin Usher has moved up. Kevin Usher already up to 11. We seem to have missed out on his story there. The first brilliant lap. Moved up to 11. Crystal Larsson in 12 for blue flag. Cholet Maxence in 13 for Team GG. Great start by him too. And then Paul Bordeaux, the second of the GG racers, in 14. And right now we see Matt Gray struggling heavily there, sliding through the S's. And this gives his teammate a chance. This gives Dirk Bertram a chance to attack on the outside. And the FlatOut Junior there going through the middle. That's Kevin Clark. He's in position 16. Bertram in 17. And here we see Andy Roberts for the FlatOut Juniors, and he has lost his rear wing. There must have been a problem, and now he's sliding off the track. It's difficult. He's just sticking to the gray stuff. He's making his way back to the pits awfully slow, so he's losing loads of time right at the beginning of the race. And another racer that seems to be in trouble is Mike Wrightson for the Fanatec. So two of the junior racers are in big trouble here. He's already left Mike Wrightson. He's already a lap down, and he's on the grass, and he's just recovering from whatever it was. It looks as if he can only go very slowly. I'd say he has a puncture somewhere on his virtual ride. And racer number 20, Rami Kaukola, already had to leave the server, unfortunately, so that means we're down to 19. And Jose and David, you also had a look at the start. Any indication why Rami had to leave? So David is not with us, but Jose, you might have an idea about why Rami had to leave. Any news from him so far?
Not really, Eckhart. I was following the start as you, and suddenly he's gone. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe there must have been some sort of problem with the line. That's just too bad, because the Roaring Pipes Maniacs, let's not forget, they lead the table, and it's their hottest rivals is GMT-DH Racing, who are leading the race at the moment, because Jack Keithley is still up there in front, followed extremely closely by Tim Hogendoorn. And they're out of McLean's and now up into Coppice, that blind turn, and also the wall is extremely close here, so if you do something wrong there, if you hit the curves too much, if you go out a little too much, now there's just a bit of sand and then you have a wall there. And now Hogendoorn, I suppose he is really close. He might move out. Yes, he does. He's on the inside now, going into the S's, but he moves back in. Keithley seems to be extremely late on the brake, and Hogendoorn really has trouble setting him up for a good pass there as he moves out of the air currents. And now again going into Milburn, but he stays behind. He stays behind, and if he's wise, he's now taking a very careful line to set him up for the next shot once they're out of Goddard's. Maybe he can do something with a different line in Goddard's and then can move out as they move down the straight and can attack Keithley at the end of the straight here, at the end of Wheatcroft Straight. Now he has to hit the apex, but he was on the grass a little with the tires on the right-hand side. That would have cost him some seconds, so nothing that Hogendoorn can do. The car joining there, that's the Fanatec racer I pointed you to earlier. That is, I think, Carl Dubois, who was in the pit and who had a problem, or if it's not Dubois, it's Wrightson. We'll check on that story later on. Right now, it's the battle for the front. It's Keithley hotly engaged with Tim Hogendoorn on his back, and the race is already, I think, 4 or 5 laps old, and still this battle is raging on. It's been raging from the very first seconds, from the very first turn. Keithley, in no way defending his position, I would say. He's just doing what he does. He's just racing a very fine line, and I haven't seen any defensive maneuvering by him. He's just, I would say, almost exactly as fast as Hogendoorn. If Hogendoorn is faster, it's just a very tiny little bit, and that's why he never really has a chance to move out, and he never really has a chance to attack Keithley there in position 1. And I must say, Keithley has got nerves of steel to be holding on that long. Let's see how long that lasts. Let's see if either one of the two makes a little mistake. Hogendoorn here with a different line, but I think that was just a little bit late on the brake and nothing intentional.
Yeah, Eckhart, I have news from the back of the pit. A FlatOut junior car and a DHR Fanatec car had a very bad accident in the first moments of the race, and the Fanatec car has got the hood and the splitter of the car, and had to pit in, of course, to repair. Also the FlatOut junior car had to pit in, but I think he didn't suffer a damage as big as the Fanatec one.
Yeah, we watched it on screen. I think he lost his rear wing, if I'm not mistaken, so they both had to go very slowly back. And I checked the names now. It was Mike Wrightson for Fanatec who was in trouble there, and the FlatOut junior was Andy Roberts. So Wrightson and Roberts, they're now, I think, a lap down already at the beginning of the race. But this is a 90-minute race, so they're not going to unlap themselves, I guess. But with other racers in trouble, they might just as well come back into the race. If they just stick out there, collect the points for the team will be happy. It's way better than losing a car right at the beginning of the race. So they're still with us, they're still in there, but from time to time they might cause some trouble because especially the FlatOuts, it's difficult to call whether it's one of the real FlatOut racers, one of the FlatOut juniors, and I hope they don't confuse me when it comes to lapping or to fighting, because we have a FlatOut race in 3. Let's not forget, as we focus here on the fight for position number 1 and 2, which is perfect racing by both racers, I must say. Absolutely splendid stuff. Keithley and Hogendoorn battling it out here, and Hogendoorn now in a very good position as I'm talking, going down Starkey straight under the bridge and now into the S's, but now he is on the outside. Now he's on the outside, and I don't think that even a Tim Hogendoorn can do anything going into the S's on the outside, and of course he can't. Over the grass a little there for Hogendoorn, and now down into the Melbourne hairpin. That's the addition to the original track. They actually had to put in real life, they had to put in a few extra 100 meters to be eligible for the MotoGP races, so they put in this extra hairpin there behind the pits. It doesn't really fit into the rhythm of the track at all, but there you are. It brings the overall length of the track to exactly 2.5 miles, and that's what they needed to get MotoGP to have races at Donington in real life. So, we're still with Keithley, and we're still with Notemboom. And now Jose tells me we should move to P4, and that's where we're going, because I have heard, and he has heard, and he has seen that there's a battle going on there for P4, and sure enough it is. We have Ben Buitendijk of the Black Rebels in his golden, silver and black Corvette with probably a pin-up girl somewhere on there. That's what Jose always does in his skins. And then in position number 5 we have Reis Notemboom, the second of the GMT-DH racers, just now moving up towards Coppice. And then position number 6, the second of the Black Rebels racers, Michael Helen, but he is already down a little there. So it's really the fight between Notemboom and Buitendijk. They're now approaching the S's, and Buitendijk in front, Notemboom moving across the curves, and the Fanatec racer was seeing that is in fact Wrightson who's a lap down, and already he's and now Notemboom attacks on the inside. Going into Melbourne, little touch there as Buitendijk tries to turn in and probably didn't quite realize where Notemboom was, and Notemboom is passed. That was an absolutely brilliant maneuver there. Very, very late on the brake. Now a little bit of a slide by him as they go through Goddard's and now down the Wheatcroft straight and into T1 again. So they are really sandwiched between the two races that are a lap down. And Notemboom now in 4, which is of course perfect for GMT-DH. And I know that all the Roaring Pipes Maniacs out there are pressing all the thumbs that they have for Ben Buitendijk to attack again and to move past Notemboom again, because any point that the GMT-DH racers don't score is a good point for the Roaring Pipes Maniacs. They only have one car left on the grid, and that is Kevin Usher, whereas and he had to start from 19. There must have been some problem in qualification and he's now moving up the grid, but it's going to take him a long time to really reach the top. And right at the top we have Jack Keithley of the GMT-DH Racers, and we have Reis Notemboom in fourth, so they are set for a huge load of points if they can bring that one home. But it's still very early in the race. We have about 20 minutes of the race gone now, and it's way too early to call the shots here to say who will be in and who will be out, and who will stick to what position in the end. Right now we see Notemboom, and remember, only a lap away he went past Buitendijk at this point, and watch the amount of turf, amount of tarmac he has put between his Marcos Marcorelly and the virtual Corvette of Ben Buitendijk. Especially going out of the turns, the Marcos Marcorelly seems to be wizard. He seems to be very fast and nimble out of the turns, whereas the Corvette seems to lumber a little and take a little time before it really gets to top speed. Jose, what's your opinion? You've probably also been following this battle here. Will Buitendijk have a chance to catch on, or will he rather now have to defend against whoever is in position number 6?
Well, I don't think Ben is out of pace to be there, but really Reis is going faster. I think he is having the pace of the guys in front. So I don't think Ben will lose positions, but obviously Reis is going to catch the guy in P3.
Yeah, so let's go to P3 then and check out on who it is. It should be a FlatOut racer, and indeed it is a FlatOut racer. It is Andrew Kisielewski. I hope I pronounced that name correct. Sounds very Polish to me. Andrew Kisielewski there for FlatOut, and he's now into Melbourne hairpin. And at this point in the race, he's having quite a silent race, but as you say, with Reis Notemboom creeping up from behind, that might soon end. Let's see how far away Notemboom is. Kisielewski now down the straight, and right now Notemboom is out of Goddard, so it's only about, I would say, 200 virtual meters that is between the two rides here, and if Notemboom really has the speed that Keithley has at the front, then Kisielewski is in for some trouble, I would say, in about 3 to 4 laps. And we just saw Notemboom there going through the image, and so he is already visible in the back, and Kisielewski will see it on the screen. He will see that the guy in the back is now approaching very, very quickly, and that the happy times when he was alone at 3 are over. And now we're moving down the grid to see, for example, where Kevin Usher is at now. So we're in position 4 with Reis Notemboom taking Cop Hiss another time and then moving down starte straight. We still have Ben Buitendijk, of course, in 6, but watch how that distance has grown. And I can hear the second of the roaring of the Black Rebels races there, Michael Hannon, and he is under heavy attack of the second Black Visor racer, and the guy they are lapping is Mike Wrightson of Fun Attack. And through the S's now, Helen and Gary Lennon is following behind, and it's the spiker of the Black Visors, and they're now into Melbourne. So lapping maneuver, well done for all 3 of them. That was close, but Wrightson did the right thing, moved out onto the grass, onto the sand a little, and that has given Helen a little bit of time to pull away there, while Lennon had to turn in. Lennon in 7, Tom Isbrooks in 8, also a FlatOut racing, and he seems to have been a last-minute addition. He only joined at the beginning of the qualification, like Simeon left, so there must have been some sort of driver swap going on there with the FlatOuts. Then Kevin Usher, already up to 9, and he has set his sight now on Tom Isbrooks. So both of the FlatOut racers have a guy coming up from behind who is obviously a little faster. Kevin Usher, let's not forget, he started in 19, he's up to 9. In 10, it's Carl Dubois, the second of the Fun Attack musclers. Beautiful design here by the GMT-DHR skinners. Fanatec, of course, that is high-powered equipment for sim racers. Some of you might know it, some of you might even own it. It's way beyond what I'm able or willing to pay, but I've heard that it's absolutely perfect equipment. And in 11, Krzysztof Babic of the Blue Flag Racing, the first of the blue and yellow BMW M3s here at Donington. And he's into turn 6 now, approaching McLean's and hoisting the old Beamer round there. In 12 is another one of the BMWs. It's Cholet Maxence of Team GGE in the, of course, blue, white and red design of the French national colors. Then in 13, hot on his heels, Kevin Clark for the FlatOut Juniors. For those of you who are following our broadcast for the first time, you can differentiate the FlatOut Juniors from the real FlatOuts by the design that they have on the back of the car. It's a checkered design, gray and dark gray, and whereas the real FlatOuts have black there. So, Paul Bordeaux for the GG in 14, he has moved up. He also didn't participate in the qualification. He started from 20. Already he has gained 6 places. Matt Gray for any racing in 15. Still in the same lap, of course, and battling hard here with Paul Bordeaux. Very close here in Melbourne. Great fight between the two there. And then Chris Larsson for the Team Blue Flag Racing in 16. He has, in fact, dropped a position, if you compare that to the grid, and if you count in Kaukola's leaving, he has, in fact, dropped 2 positions, and also his back is banged up a little, so there must have been some trouble for Christer along the way. And then in 17, the indefatigable Dirk Bertram for Amy Racing, putting in another great show here in the Corvette. Bit of a wide line here as he moves out onto the start and finish straight, and you can see he has already lost some of the rear lights, so there must also have been some contact with either a wall or an opponent for Dirk. In 18, now we have the 2 left cars. It's Andy Roberts in 18, and his car looks mightily banged up, front left. And in 19, Mike Wrightson for the Fanatics. That is the last car that is on the grid, and I think he's just been lapped by the racer in position number 3, but I'm not quite sure. No, he's just been lapped by Tom Mills-Brooks in position number 7 or 8. So that was the grid for you. And Jose, any preference where you would like to have the camera now?
Well, I think we can go again to see what happens in the top of the pack.
And that, of course, is always sound device by our cameraman. And in fact, we have had a change at the top while we were not watching. Sorry, Tim. We were not following you closely enough, and Tim Hogendoorn now sits pretty in position number 1. And Jack Keithley is down in position number 2, and the FlatOut Junior, you see, between them, that is the left car I was talking about earlier. So Hogendoorn now going into the Melbourne hairpin, a maneuver we have unfortunately missed. Must have passed Keithley, his waiting must have paid off, and there must have been a small mistake, possibly done by Jack Keithley. His really very nice and clean lines must have been broken at some place, and Hogendoorn must have slipped past. Well then, with about 30 minutes of the race gone, we have a new race leader. We have Tim Hogendoorn for the Black Visors, and I can see all the Roaring Pipes Maniacs going a little crazy in front of the screen, because that means 2 points less for the GMT-DH racers, and I can see the GMT-DH racer fans hoping that either Keithley will fight back there, go back into the front, or that the second of the GMT-DH racers, Reis Notemboom, will soon join him in the fight there and move up to position number 3. But right now, Black Visors racer in the spiker, Tim Hogendoorn, safely in position number 1 with what looks to me like 2 seconds or 2.5 seconds of a lead to Jack Keithley in position number 2. Jose, by chance, did you catch the maneuver there on your screen?
No, I think it was out of camera.
Well, you can't hear it all.
And David from the pit lane told me that the FlatOut Junior is going into the pits again. It's second stop.
Not a good sign at all. Not a good sign for the FlatOut juniors. They're losing important points in the championship fight. Let's not forget they find themselves in position number 6 and just 4 points ahead of the Blue Flag Racing. Yes, please.
It seems that he left the race. He had some very bad technical problem. Andy Roberts was the racer leading the race.
Yeah, we saw him in the race before as he crawled back to the pits, having huge problems just staying on the gray stuff because he'd lost his rear wing, and he's now out of the race. So that means with half an hour gone, we already have 2 guys out of the race. One, it seems, was basically what happened after a race accident, and might be that just the ride is virtually undrivable and unrepairable, and Roberts decided to call it a day. And the other then, Rami Kaukola, very sad that he had some technical problems apparently right as we started the race and had to leave the grid. So that brings Hogendoorn into position to start lapping for good now. It's Dirk Bertram in his sights, the Amy racer, and that would be the first lapping maneuver, the first real lapping maneuver, not counting the ones where the other drivers had real problems after the race. Bertram moving to one side of the track, and Hogendoorn absolutely has no problems moving past here. Very well done by Bertram, and of course expertly done by Hogendoorn too. And so Hogendoorn in front, and Keithley still down about 2 seconds. And battle here for position 3, 4, and 5. It's Reis Notemboom in 4. We talked about him earlier. On the way up the grid, he passed Ben Buitendijk. Buitendijk clinging on though. Hasn't dropped as far down as I thought he would from the pace that they had just as Notemboom passed, and both of them have moved up to Andrew Kisielewski in the FlatOut racer car. So from what I can see here, it looks as if Notemboom in another lap or 2 will be really, really close to Kisielewski, and might then even try to pass him, which would put GMT-DHR back into the race for the overall championship position at this point, because they would then have a position 2 and a position 3.
Eckhart, I think there's an interesting battle for positions 13, 14, and 15, as David told me from the circuit with his walkie-talkie, you know. So I think we should go there.
Yeah, by all means. Let's move to position 13 and 14, you said. And that's Paul Bordeaux in 14, and Matt Gray in 15. And the Annie Racer in the huge, massive Corvette here, the virtual Corvette, and the GG Racer in the blue, white, and red BMW, slugging it out for position, but fighting as if this was the fight for position number 1. Gray now a bit on the grass there, trying, I think, to get as close as possible to the BMW to be able to maybe attack him at one point. We've seen that there's plenty of good places in Donington actually to pass, and it looks to me as if Gray is getting a little closer to Bordeaux, a little too close to for comfort for the GG Racer. Now turning into Melbourne. Gray already very close, but he's overshot a little. He now has trouble going out of the turn. Corvette sliding all over the place there, and that gives Bordeaux some time to move away just a little. Now Gray taking a very tight line here in Goddard's in 8 and turn 11, and down the straight now towards turn 1 again. They're now moving down the Craner curves, braking into the old hairpin, and this seems to be where the BMW has its strength. It's slightly more agile, I would say, than the Corvette. The Corvette is really, really good once it gets going, but it's difficult to get it up to speed correctly, and we can see here that it is really a very even battle. And now Gray has some trouble. Gray has some trouble in the back there, trying to get the power of the Corvette down soundly, and he lost some time there, sliding a little as he turned out of turn 8 out of coppice. Through the S's now, and Gray sliding again. He's sliding all over the place. I don't know if that's already the tires going, but the pit window is coming in, because not so far away, so it might be that Gray at this point already has some problems with the tires. Watch him slide here out of the turns. It seems to be that he has some real trouble getting the power down as he moves out of the turns. And you can see here, he's already back up close to Bordeaux, so if you can just put that lap together, we can just get the force of the Corvette down on the virtual tarmac, he might really have a chance to attack him. But at this point, it's slide all over the place. And there we just saw his teammate, Dirk Bertram, after I think it was his normal pit stop, so the pit window has definitely opened now. Dirk Bertram out of the pits and back into the race. Gray in 15 and Bordeaux in 14. And we're moving up the grid just a little to 13 and 12. It's FlatOut Junior, Kevin Clark, the sole remaining FlatOut Junior. A bit of banged up car there, front right. That's where he lost his headlights. And Cholet Maxence for the Team GG. So it's the GGs who are being pushed all over the place here and who have to defend, who have to fight for a position against the racers coming up from behind. It's Maxence in 12. It's Kevin Clark in 13, and it looks as if the FlatOut racer is about to move past. Maxence with a bit of a trouble here, and now Clark is really close. He's nudging him a little, and that actually cost him time because he has to pull back a little. I think it was too fast out of the turn, and where else Maxence had a bit of a trouble getting out of the turn there. And now Maxence has moved away a little, but look at this, he's taking a defensive line going into Melbourne. That's clearly a defensive line by Maxence there. And who is to blame him? Through Melbourne, that BMW is sliding like nothing and sliding out of the turn, and that gives Kevin Clark the chance. He is now on the same length, and he is on the inside, and he's moved past. He's moved past. Kevin Clark into 12 and Cholet Maxence in 13. Yes, please.
There is a fight for P3 and 4 between Reis, sorry mate for the spelling of your name, and Andrew Kisielewski.
Yeah, and we just saw this brilliant maneuver here by Clark. We still see, I think, Cholet Maxence trying to fight back, but let's move up the grid. Good idea. That's the fight we have said that would happen, and it is about to happen. And Reis Notemboom in 4, following Andrew Kisielewski closely. And yes, that looks indeed as if Notemboom has closed the gap. And Buitendijk, I can still see Buitendijk in the back there, so Buitendijk still in 5, Kisielewski in 3. And news from the front there, it's still Tim Hogendoorn in 1, and it's still Jack Keithley in 2, so you're not missing out on anything up at the top of the grid while we follow these two Marcos Marcorellis. One, the yellow and black one for the FlatOut racers, and notice the all-black back there, so it's not junior, it's the original team. And then the other one, Reis Notemboom. Reis Notemboom going down now, start the straight. Very, very, very close. And this is a defensive line if ever I saw one. Look at what Kisielewski is doing there. He is really stuck. And Notemboom goes off. Little touch there. Notemboom goes off. Let's see if he can take control of his racer. Yes, he can. And he rejoins the track just behind Kisielewski. That was an interesting maneuver. The way I saw it, Notemboom was just on the same height, but he wouldn't pass, so it was perfectly alright for Kisielewski to stick to his line. And as all of you who've done the track, who've played the track know, there's only room for one racer going through the S's. So little push there, little shove there to Notemboom, but it looks as if he could rejoin without any trouble. Of course, he's lost his rhythm now. Of course, he now needs, I think, about 1 or 2 laps to really get back into his rhythm and to start chasing Kisielewski again. That was some really tough fight there between Kisielewski and Notemboom. From your position, Jose, could you follow it while concentrating on the camera work? What's your interpretation of the scene? A clean fight?
Well, I agree with you. For what I could see, I think Andrew had the good line for the next corner, so he stick to his line, and Reis had to cut the chicane to avoid the contact. But I think that's racing.
Yeah, let's hope he took a wide line cutting the chicane so he didn't get a cut warning. I mean, that can really ruin your race, a cut warning in a situation like this where you couldn't really do anything to avoid it. It was a fair chance. He could maybe, if Kisielewski had been on the brake a bit earlier, he might have just made it past. And let's not forget, they are here to fight for the championship, the GMT-DH racers. They know that one of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs is out, so they see that chance here to grab as many points as possible, and every single point counts. And it's a 2-point difference between position number 3 and position number 4, so it really counts to move past, and Notemboom was making his move there. I think another good idea would be for Notemboom now to wait for the pit stops and then maybe see if he can overtake Kisielewski in the pits. This has happened a lot in Formula 1 racing, and we've also had it in the STC, in the Sim Racing Team Challenge, that people actually have a very, very good pit stop and then come out just a little in front of the guy who was in front before. Right now, Notemboom, I guess, trying to get back into his rhythm and trying to follow Kisielewski, and I would say that they have about the same distance ever since that little incident there. So I think Notemboom taking it easy for the time being. He's had his chance, he's moved in. It was close, but it was not to be, and that means that Kisielewski stays in front for the time being. So we're moving up and down the grid, and we're in 12 and 13 now. It's Krzysztof Babic for the Blue Flag Racing, BMW, followed by another BMW, and that's Cholet Maxence for Team GG. And they're having a close battle here for positions 12 and 13. And we see the other GG racer actually in the back there. In 14, that's Paul Baudot, and he seems to have gotten rid of Matt Gray for good. And that means that now we have 3 BMWs lined up positions 12, 13 and 14. Babic running a bit wide here as they approach Koppis. and now into a couple bit of braking there by Babic, but everything still looks clean. He has a little dent in the left-hand door, so there must have been some contact along the way. And the DG racer following him, Soleil Maxence, is moving in closer, definitely. Yeah, we had some trouble at Blue Flag with the racers who would be in the race today. Christoph was basically set. He said he was going to do it, and then for a short while we thought that maybe Kent Carlane, who is our front wheel specialist, would join here. He did some laps in the BMW and left a message saying, "Oh, please not, let somebody else do it." And then it was Ivan Lobby, the team founder, who stepped in and said, "Yeah, maybe he could do it." And but then something in real life came up, so Ivan couldn't be here with us tonight, and that means Crystal Alson came up. And I think that's what's so great about the team challenge, that you're a team, and it really counts that you put both the cars on the grid all the time, and you need a lot of coordination and cooperation for that, and it certainly gets the team together and brings out the team spirit, doesn't it, Jose?
Yeah, that's the point of this challenge. That's why there is no even like unofficial standings for individuals. We only really count the team points, and we don't even know what will happen if we count the individual points, but we won't do it because that will ruin all the champions.
Yeah, I agree. And we have never given in to that temptation, haven't we? Right from the first Blue Cup, we've never counted individual points. It's always been team points. Ooh, massive slide here by Maxence, but well, very well done. Brings him actually closer to Babic, that slide there, through Melbourne. And so, what do you think? And my cameraman tells me we're going back to P3 and P4, but while we're on the way, Jose, what do you figure, how many racers does a team need to be competitive in the sim racing team challenge? What would you say, like 8 racers, 10 racers?
No, I really think that if you have people that is really available to race, you can do the challenge with 6 races.
Okay, so 6 is like the minimum of races that you really need to make up, maybe to have 1 reserve driver every Thursday.
Yeah. We all have a lot of things to do in real life, you know, so in theory, if nobody has a problem in the last moment, you can also do it with 4, but that's not realistic. So I think that the minimum is 6 drivers to be able to find somebody to race in the last moment.
Yep. That's what has happened a lot. It seems to have happened with FlatOut, because they had a different lineup on the forum than they are with us tonight. And talking about realistic, what do you think? Reis Notemboom, realistic chance of passing Andrew Kisielewski in front of him? We just saw them touch a little there, and Reis Notemboom is now really, and now we see Kisielewski taking a defensive line. I said before, he's not doing defensive lines, but that, folks, is, of course, a defensive line. Another notch here by Notemboom. Notemboom draws back. What do you think? Realistic chance of Notemboom getting past?
Well, he's attacking very hard now, and the chance is there, but
and the chance is over because Kisielewski is into the pit.
Yes, let's see what happens.
Off our wild speculation. Yeah, that's what happens. I think he just decided. I mean, it's usually you have about 1 or 2 laps of a pit window where you say, okay, I'm going to go in there lap, I don't know what, 35 or 36 or 37, and once you have someone, you know, really nibbling at your back, really pushing you a little and touching you a little, I'm really the kind of racer who then goes into the pits just to have my quiet, don't you?
And David is telling me from the pits that Kevin Asher has a pit and now is practically a lap under. Maybe he had a he has in 9th position, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe he had a problem or is consequence of his pit stop, but not sure because almost all cars made the pit stop now. So.
Yeah, but I don't think the first 3 have been in the pits, have they? I didn't watch anything, and so I suppose that the first 3 are still out. If we saw Kisielewski just now going into the pits, maybe we see Notemboom going into the pits now, or maybe he can stay out a little longer and now with a slightly lighter car, put in 1 or 2 really good laps. He's moved past the Amy racer there, he's lapped him and he's staying out for another lap. And let's see if he passes anyone in the pits at this point. No, he stays in position number 3, so also the first 2, Keithley and Hogendoorn, still stay out. So we have 3 racers at least who haven't done their pit stop yet, and that's the first 3. That's Tim Hogendoorn in 1, Jack Keithley for GMT-DH Racing for the home team in 2, and Reis Notemboom also for the home team in 3. And while we're at it, good news for your team, Jose. It's positions number 4 and position number 5. You might want to move the camera there because it really is a nice image there. The 2 Black Rebels, Ben Buitendijk in 4 and Michael Hallen, my co-commentator, in 5. And both cars still in the race and both cars still going strong. 2 Corvettes now about to lap, I think, Dirk Bertram of Amy Racing. Another Corvette there, slightly banged up in the rear already. And they're still pretty close to the front there, so you're going to make a truckload full of points. It's going to be good for the standings.
Yeah, indeed, Ricardo, but now there is a group of cars very, very close in positions 9 and oh my God, every time that I talk, somebody begin and ruins what I was about to say. Okay, it seems that the race leader is in pits now. Timmy has pit in.
Indeed he has, and that means we have a new race leader. We have Jack Keithley of GMT-DH Racing in the lead, and we have a double lead for GMT-DH Racing because we have Reis Notemboom in 2. And they're staying out awfully long, so that means these guys must be really, really soft on the tires, or else they have these alien talents, even with completely run-down virtual tires, to still put in absolutely macaroni lap times here. Notemboom in 2, Keithley back where he was at the beginning of the race, back in number 1. Both of them racing for the team GMT-DH Racing, who at this point would get 1 point for the pole, and then 25 for the leader and 23 for the second position, would give them an overall of 49 points. So that's close to perfect. If they can also then grab the fastest lap, they'd be at the maximum of 50 points, and that is very bad news indeed for the Maniacs. But let's see if Keithley is moving into the pits.
Yeah. We are with Jack, and let's see if he moves. Yes, he's pitting in now.
He does. He's pitting now. There's a blue flagger pitting at the same time. And let's see if Reis stays out or not. We'll see Keithley's number skip to 2 if Notemboom moves past. That also gives us some indication of how far away Notemboom is. Keithley in the pits. Looks like an extremely regular stop here. Fueling up and
Notemboom
virtual tires.
Has entered. And Helen now is on P2 at this moment.
Yeah, and we see Keithley. He's also in the pit, yep, and we see Keithley leaving the pits. And the big question is, where is Tim Hogendoorn? Tim Hogendoorn is passed. Tim Hogendoorn is passed, and so Keithley, I think he has moved closer to Hogendoorn, but he is still in position number 2. Kisielewski is out in 3, Notemboom out in 4, out of the pits as I'm speaking, and Helen is now moving out of the pits too in 6. He has just been passed by Tom Ilsbrooks, who is now in 5, and Helen just ahead of Ben Buitendijk in 7, so the 2 Black Rebels have changed position in the pits. It was Helen behind Buitendijk before, and it's Helen in front of Buitendijk now, but I think since this is a team challenge, that really doesn't matter a lot. Ilsbrooks in 5. He has both of the Black Rebels now following him. The Marcos Marcorelly there of Tom Ilsbrooks. He's driving a near perfect race, remember. He comes from position 8 on the grid, and he's already gained 3 positions there. If we always count Rami Kaukola's off, that's still 2 positions gained. Ooh, bit across the curves here. Hope he didn't get a warning, cut warning for that one. And now he is lapping one of the GG drivers. Tom Ilsbrooks in 5, and the GG driver is moving out so that both of the Black Rebels can also pass him. Well, pit window over, and I think, except for the change there in the Black Rebels, we more or less see the grid positions, the positions on the grid the same as they were before, don't we, Jose?
I think Tom Ilsbrooks made a great pit stop, and now he's ahead of the 2 TBRs, because I think he was after them before the pit stop.
Yep, same thinking here, if I remember correctly, but now they seem to be slightly faster than he is. If I see that correctly, they're catching up, and it must be an awesome sight for Tom. Every time he's checking in his rearview mirror, there's one of the white, silver and gold and black Black Rebels Corvettes, and their sound is quite menacing. It's this low growl that they make. It's really like a wolf coming up on you. And we have Helen and Buitendijk. Who would you say is the more adventurous of the 2? Who would risk a risky maneuver more, Helen or Buitendijk?
I think Ben, because Mikael is really, really precise when driving, and he's not. I won't define it like aggressive, but like you know, like a clock, Swiss Swiss clock. So I think maybe Ben is more aggressive in the sense of think in the moment, you know.
Yes, I think I understand perfectly what you mean. So it would be a good idea actually then to let Buitendijk pass, let him do the attacking move on Ilsbrooks. Or it could be that Mikael Helen, with his Swiss or Swedish clockwork, could wear down Ilsbrooks, could simply just follow him closely lap by lap by lap by lap and wait for that little mistake to happen. Apparently what Hogendoorn did with great success up in front. Should we go to the front and see if what the time difference is up there between Hogendoorn and the rest of the grid?
Yeah, actually Tim is 8 seconds ahead of the driver in second position, and then there are another 8 seconds to the third position.
Yeah, so things are settling in there in front. Drivers have all found their rhythm after the pit stop, and it seems that they're all into a rather quiet second run. There's of course a lot of lapping going on right now. Hogendoorn has passed one of the blue flag racers there, and but apart from that, it seems to be that Keithley cannot quite follow him, and seems to have settled into 2, and Notemboom again then has settled into 3. I mean, 8 seconds is it's already that stretch where you don't see the other racer. How about you, Jose, in a race? Do you feel more comfortable if you have a racer close up or close before you? or do you feel more comfortable if you have all the race stuff for yourself and can really basically set your own rhythm?
No, I feel better with cars around, because I'm not the one being in the top of the grid. So that means if I don't have cars around, it's because I'm losing ground normally. So I love to.
Absolutely.
I love to have cars in my side of view.
Yeah, I also need them. I need them to kind of fix my position, basically, to know where I am. It sounds a bit stupid, doesn't it? But if I'm alone on the track, I really tend to be slower than when I have somebody around that I can focus on. No matter whether it's somebody in the rearview mirror pushing me a little, or whether it's somebody in front pulling me a little. If I have that other guy around, I tend to be really slow somewhere in the midfield. But I think we're speaking of a different league here with races like Hogendoorn and Haber we saw last race. I think Tim is the kind of racer who can really stick to his rhythm and then just pound out lap after lap after lap of breathtaking times, can't he?
Yeah, of course. Well, talking about pros of sim racing is not my case, so it's quite different. They really don't lose concentration. They can focus for a long time and be lap by lap, making very fast and very consistent times. Yes. So yeah, it's really a different level of sim racing. And talking about a different level of sim racing, Eckhart, I will like you to interview John Westerland from the new team that joined this challenge.
Oh, is he with us now in the broadcast?
Yes, yes.
That's brilliant. So, Danielson Motorsport Virtual are with us. Please introduce yourself.
It's good to be here. My name is John and I am the team manager of Danielson Motorsport. And just enjoying myself and the great TV broadcast.
So, what made you decide that you should join the Sim Racing Team Challenge basically in the middle of the season? Did Jose bribe you or anything?
No, nothing like that. Actually, it was one of the members of FlatOut that alerted me to this series and said, well, maybe this is something for you to look at. And I looked through the forums and I talked to the guys, and it seemed like something that was particularly very much up our alley. And well, I made contact with David, and well, now we're scrambling to get ready for next week.
So we'll already see you next week in the GTSport, in the GT Pro race here at Donington.
Oh, that's the plan. We're trying our very best to get everything organized and all the practicalities done.
Well, that's brilliant. What virtual car will you be fielding?
We will be using the Corvette both as our sport car and as our pro car.
Ah, all right. Not the easiest ride to do. Why did you pick this one?
Well, we like it.
That's reason enough.
We've been running the Corvettes as well as particularly Aston Martin in the Swedish sim races, the GTR Evo League. So with the short amount of preparations we have for STC, we still want to do a fairly good job in these good competitive races. So it was a sort of natural choice for us.
Right, and I've of course been to your forum and checked out a little, and it seems that you also do real-life racing, some of you. Is that true?
Well, Danielson Motorsport is a real-life racing team. Alex Danielson, a former World Championship by Renault guy, started a couple of years ago. So there are he's racing himself in Ferrari Challenge right now. We have Junior Touring Car championship guys in Sweden and also Porsche Carrera Cup. We decided last autumn to see if we can do something more with a combination of virtual racing and real racing. So the old the sole Swedish team of Rosa Corsa joined forces with Donington Motorsport to have a virtual division.
And what's that something more that you allude to that you hoped to find, and did you find it?
We're still finding our way, but we are had some common practices with particularly the junior touring car guys. When Donington Motorsport has real events, we are there. Our drivers, our virtual drivers, have had some driver training together with the Donington Motorsport racers on real racetrack.
Whoa! I think that's a dream come true for most sim racers, isn't it? And but you also have like virtual stars among you, haven't you?
Yeah, we have a couple of really quick drivers in the team, and I guess the one you're alluding to is Paul Enström, virtual touring car championship champion.
Yeah, I think most of us followed that. Really close finale there, really close finish. Got bumped off the track and then reinstated as the champion. Is he still riding that car that he won?
Actually, I don't know, but I think so.
Yeah, he should better. Oh well, so we're really looking forward to having you on board. As you can see here, there's a splendid competition. Tim Hogendoorn of the Black Visor, he's an extremely fast guy. And then you have the GMT-DH racers who also know what they do. And of course the defending champions, the Roaring Pipes Maniacs. And we also have some more racers on the grid who do real-life racing, like David Greco of the Black Rebels, and also the team GG Racer, Ludwig Giddy, and I know that also GMT have some real-life racers, so there'll be some tough competition out there for you. Brilliant. So you're all set and ready, almost ready to join us at Donington. Quick guess, will you be in the front top 2 rows after the qualification? What do you think?
I don't know. We're not used to the Super Pole format, any of the drivers that will be participating at Donington, but we will try our best and try to have a good fun race, clean, and just do what we can.
Brilliant. Well, we'd love to have you here, and we love to have you here. Not we would love to have you, but we love to have you here, and it's going to be great seeing you guys slugging it out. Last question. What will be the color scheme of your cars? Like a sneak preview here. Will you be fielding red cars or yellow cars, or what's your team colors?
Pretty much what you see on the Donington Motorsport Koenigsegg that are supplied with GTR Evo. However, that car is in the 2008 color scheme and 2009. But black and green and white.
Black and green and white, so you'll fit in nicely with the Black Visors and also with the GMT-DH races. So we have a couple of dark teams up there. Brilliant. Well, it's been great talking to you. Nice surprise that Jose sprang on me there, and really looking forward to having you at Donington next week. See you then.
Thanks for having me.
Well, Jose, that was interesting news, wasn't it? Danielson Motorsport to join us. What do you reckon? With guys like Greco and Haber, will their domination of the race be over?
Sorry, I can't. What exactly you said, because I didn't understand.
You were busy doing technical stuff. No problem at all, mate. With the Danielsons moving in here with guys like Roland Enström. What about all the Grecos and the Habers who've been playing, and the Hogendoorns who've been playing a dominant part of the series in the series so far? Will that be real competition for them?
Yeah, indeed. You know, I think we never experienced the fastest grid we could have. I mean, we never had the combination of all the fastest guys of all the teams together. But anyway, with thanks to the incredible amount of top drivers we have in the competitions, in every race we have an interesting battle between these aliens, like we decided to call them in the sim racing world. I don't know exactly.
Yep.
I understand why, but why aliens are not, I don't know, cheetahs or something like
guys.
So, well, of course, Danielson is not this year because they miss all biggest part of the season, but for next seasons they will be all the time one of the teams in the top spots. Obviously, you can you only have to watch the roster to understand that.
It is impressive. It is very impressive. I agree with you. So we're going to have a brilliant new addition next race. But right now, let's go back to the race. If I'm not mistaken, Jose, we're still following Tim Hogendoorn in 1.
No, well, you were interviewing John. I moved to P6 to watch the battle between Tom Isbrooks, Ben Wittenjik, and Michael Helen. And not because they are from my team, because it's the closest battle now in the track.
It certainly is, and there has been a change. Wittenjik is now up to 6. It seems that they have listened to PSR TV or watched PSR TV, because I suppose that Wittenjik would be the better, attack dog up there, putting the pressure on Ilsbrooks, and he is now in the position to do exactly that. But right now, as I'm watching, it seems to be that the Black Rebels are more concerned with chasing each other than with chasing Ilsbrooks, in fact. So it's Wittenjik in 6. It's Helen in 7, and the second of the Black Visors, Gary Lennon, has been slowly but stealthily creeping up to them, because they've been engaged in the battle and he has had some open space before him, so he might well spring a surprise on them and do an unexpected move while they're slugging it out, they're fighting it out for positions 5, 6, and 7. So 5 Ilsbrooks for the FlatOut, 6 Wittenjik for the Black Rebels, 7 Michael Helen for the Black Rebels, and then already very close in 8 Gary Lennon for the Black Visors. He is also one of the winners of the race. Taking Kaukola into account, he's moved up 2 positions already. Yes, Jose?
Yeah, Eckert, we are with Kevin now that it seems that his sound rate is moving more than usual. I don't know, I have the feeling that he has some problems. What do you think?
Kevin Usher, yeah, we are with him, and let me have a quick look at the way. Yes, indeed, I think you are right. I think Kevin, in trying to chase, in trying to make up for the problem, whatever it was in qualification that saw him, I don't think he put in a full lap, if I saw that correctly. It saw him start from position 19, and oh, look at that, what a massive slide, but it worked perfectly. Some expert driving there by Asha, and I think he has been putting a lot of pressure on these virtual tires, and I think he's pushing to the max, because he knows that if he loses it, and he's about to lose it, he's going into the wall, and basically he really has to bring that car home, doesn't he? I mean, if both of the Roaring Pipes Maniacs are out, that would be a heavy blow to the team, but he seems to struggle with something. It might be that he had another visit to the wall before, and that the whole physical layout of the car has been damaged. I mean, it's all virtual, of course, but that it feels as if the car is not really turning in, not really turning out of the turns, and he seems to be really struggling just finding a fast line here. It's not the Kevin Usher that we know. We know him to be an extremely fast racer, but we also know him to be in absolutely full control of his ride, and that doesn't look like it at all. He seems to be struggling mightily. Yeah, thanks Jose for pointing our attention to poor Kevin. He's of course sporting the number 1 because the Roaring Pipes Maniacs are in fact the defending champions here, but they're having a hard time at Donington. Donington is probably going to be a race that they would rather forget pretty soon. And if I see that correctly, it's Tim Hogendoorn behind him, about to lap him.
Yes, Eckert, and in P6 and 5, 6 and 7, still my teammates are trying to pass Ilsbrooks, and Tom is making an incredible race in defensive terms. He has to be really tired now.
Yeah, and it's a tiny car, the Marcos Marcorelly, compared to these massive Corvettes, and he really has to stretch it, you know, to the fullest. I think he would like to have a car that's at least double as wide as the one that he's running here, and Buitendijk is putting the pressure on him like nothing, whereas Helen at this point already has to start defending, I think, against the Black Visor racer coming up there from behind, and that's Gary Lennon. And so we see kind of a two-way fight here. Helen, on the one hand, has to really take care that he's not, you know, touching Buitendijk or getting too close to him. Or on the other hand, he has to defend against Lennon coming up from behind. So it is a very interesting battle for positions here. Positions number 5 and 6, that's Ilsbrooks, and that's Buitendijk. And then positions 7 and 8, Michael Helen and Gary Lennon. And I can already see Helen turning in a bit earlier than he used to do, and let's see him approaching now turn number 11, and yes, he's rather hugging a close line to not let Gary Lennon slip past. So very interesting battle here. It's not really the middle of the grid, but it's kind of 1/3 down the grid. Lennon in 8, Helen in 7, Buitendijk in 6, and Tom Ilsbrooks at this point, no, he's not. I thought he was just a little clear of Buitendijk, but Buitendijk is following him like a dog on the prowl, a dog unleashed, and a dog about to sink his fangs into Tom Ilsbrooks' Marcos Marcorelly there. As the race progresses, Jose, what do you think? Which ride will be softer on the tires? Will the Marcos Marcorelly get a bit better towards the end of the race, or will the Corvette get a bit better?
Well, I think the Marcos, but maybe it's because I'm used to drive the Corvette while training with the team, and I always see the Marcos in GMT-DHR or FlatOut hands. So the Marcos seems to be softer with tires, but don't really know if it's the car, you know.
Yep, and I'm just checking the times here, and we have 15 minutes to go in the race, and we have Hogendoorn in 1, but Keithley has moved up. He has moved up to within 3 seconds. So he used to be down 8 seconds. Hogendoorn must have had either some problems with the backbencher, or there must have been something else there, but Keithley is decidedly moving in. There's a huge gap then to Kisielewski in the FlatOut. He is 27 seconds down, and Notemboom is right behind him, so we might watch that battle too. And then we have Ilsbrooks, Buitendijk, Helen, and Lennon, and all those are about 40 seconds behind the race leader. And then Usher is the first of the lapped cars. But that will tell you, especially for those teams who are not at the top of the grid at the moment, that all the other racers are still in. We've lost Rami right at the beginning. We've lost Carl Dubois, and Well, that's about it. We're still 17 racers in the race, and we only have 14 minutes to go, so it's almost a full grid here still together. So why don't we move to number 3 and 4, Kisielewski and Notemboom.
Yeah, Eckhart, as we suspected, Reis Notemboom has closed the gap, and now he's attacking really hard. He had a chance to overtake in the.
Right now, he has a chance. He's on the inside now. Never mind. He's on the inside now, but some expert defensive move there by Kisielewski. It's interesting to see because they both have the same virtual ride, so they both have the same problems and the same chances and the same material that they're fighting with now. Notemboom again trying to go past on the inside. Let's see if we can get into the backdraft here. Going down, and Kisielewski, no, he's too far away. Definitely too far away. We saw them touch in the S's just a while back. I think that was before the first pit. And now Notemboom in the run-up to Melbourne. He might... No, he doesn't. Kisielewski is always just slightly quicker out of the turns. Now turning in. Can Notemboom do anything? Well, if he can, it's to no use because he's on the outside. Touch there, as Kisielewski was trying to get on the outside. I hope nothing happened to Notemboom's ride there. That was quite a big touch, actually. Could have turned him, but fortunately he didn't. And now they are again going down the Wheatcroft Straight and into turn 1 into Redgate.
Eckhart,
yes.
David with his walkie-talkie tells me that Ben Buitenjik, or teammate, has crashed. Actually, he hit the wall, and now it seems he has problems in car. While Reis has overtaken him.
Yeah. Oh my goodness! And just as we were talking, Notemboom is passed. Notemboom is passed, so that means we have a GMT-DH racer in 2, and we have one in position number 3. But seeing what I have seen the last few laps. The FlatOut racer, that's Andrew Kisielewski, is not going to give up. They seem to have pretty much the same speed, those two. And so just now we could see the other GMT racer in the back there. But Kisielewski is hot on the heels of Notemboom. He's not giving up. He's staying in there. And I suppose we might see a move by him in the next 1 or 2 laps if he finds his rhythm quickly again. If he can change the role, basically, from being the hunted to being the hunter, we might see a move by him. And we're back with the fight for position 5. It's Ben Buitenjik, we heard. He's crashed. He's out of the race. Well, he's not out of the race, but he's down the grid somewhere. I can't tell you at this point where. But it's Michael Hellen who has now taken up the chase of Tom Ilsbrooks. And what a race it is for Tom. I think he has been under the pressure of the Black Rebels for the last, I would say, about 20 to 25 minutes. And he must be sweating like mad. And whatever he does, he just simply can't get away from these 2 Corvettes, or from this 1 Corvette now. And Gary Lennon must be just enjoying his race in the back there. He saw one of the contenders drop out, and there's a good chance that another one might drop out sooner or later, because this is a really, really close battle we're seeing. Michael Hellen breaking into the S's now and out again. And watch this, Ilsbrooks out of the S's. He puts 50 virtual meters between his ride and Hellen's in no time whatsoever. So out of the turns, it seems to be that Ilsbrooks is has got the better ride, whereas going down the straights and into the turns, it seems to be that Helen is in a slightly better position. Ilsbrooks now, as we're talking, Helen seems to have some trouble staying on, and Gary Lemon is now moving up towards the back of the Corvette, but it looks as if Helen is still in control and can keep Lennon back. But this is a very close fight. Don't forget, we have something like 80 minutes of this race already under our belts, and these guys are still so close. It's 8 minutes to go in the race, 8 minutes and 40 seconds to be precise. So that figures out to 5 laps that we still have to do here in virtual Donington to see who will achieve what position in the 7th race of the Sim Racing Team Challenge. And this fight that we're following is in fact the closest fight on the grid. It's Ilsbrooks for FlatOut defending his position for lap and lap and lap against the Black Rebels racers, and now Michael Helen has moved away a little again from the Black Visors racer, from Gary Lennon, and they're about to lap Dirk Bertram of Amy Racing, and but Bertram is moving out here in Melbourne, so all three of them can pass safely. Very well done to Dirk there, no problem at all for the faster guys to get past. Ilsbrooks in 4 and Michael Helen in 5, and Gary Lennon down in 6, basically just waiting what's going on up there, I guess. I mean, waiting at a very high speed, if you can talk about waiting in his position. Jose, we've been following this fight. If at all, where do you think Helen will set the attack?
Well, not sure, because now I'm looking at the Marcos and the Corvette, and the Marcos it seems a micro machine.
Yep.
There is a big difference between the two cars. Not really sure, because you know, in the last laps, I was all the time thinking that Mikael will make the movement and pass, but Tom, it's really hard to overtake. He's driving very smooth and defending without making strange movements, but no room for Mikael to pass. So
yeah, just as you're talking, here he goes in the run up to Melbourne. But Ilsbrooks is of course on the inside. He of course has the better line here. And now out of, little touch there, no touch at all. Now moving up towards Corvettes. And can he put the power down? Ilsbrooks still stays on the inside. What a great battle we have here. And now out onto the start and finish straight. Down they go towards turn 1, down Wheatcote Straight. And can he set the attack now? He's moving out, Miguel Helen. He is struggling mightily, breaking into, and very close to Ilsbrooks there. Very close indeed. And now down the Craner curves, turn number 2. We're past that, turn number 3. He might try something now if he moves out just a little at this point. And no, he's touching. Little touch there to Ilsbrooks. Ilsbrooks stays in control and Helen draws back. He wasn't pushing his envelope. And now moving up, Starkey Sprigg, turn 6, and then McLean's turn 7, the first of the 2 really nasty turns. And whoa, it seems to be really difficult to hoist the old Corvette through that turn. Ilsbrooks has actually gained a little from that touch there, because it seems that Helen has lost his rhythm a little more there. And now watch that Corvette shake all over the place. Down the straight again, and it's rather now that Helen has dropped down a little, and Gary Lennon still following the 2. Still following behind. This battle is not over, folks. The race might only be 4 laps to go, but this battle definitely is not over.
And Eckhart, David informed me that Jack Keithley had a problem and left the race. We don't know what happened to him.
No, we have no idea. It seems to be a technical problem there that puts him out of the race, just as in real-life racing, I'm afraid. Can come straight out of the blue, which puts Notemboom in 2. So GMT-DH Racing are still up there. But of course, this is brilliant news for the Maniacs, because, sorry GMT, that puts the Maniacs back on the map, so to speak. You both only have one racer. And this is, of course, good news for all the other teams who still have 2 racers, because they're going to make up some lost ground to the 2 teams at the top. Both of them lose 1 racer tonight, whereas, for example, FlatOut still, if I'm not mistaken, have both cars in. And also the Rebels still have both cars. No, sorry, the Rebels, yes, they still have both cars in. It's just that Buitendijk dropped a position to number 7. So, Usher in 8, Buitendijk in 7, but Lennon and Helen, that is the fight here, Lennon, Helen and Ilsbrooks. And Tim Hogendoorn can now take it really slow, because he has like 33 seconds to Reis Notemboom, and Notemboom is only half a second away from Andrew Kisielewski. We have 3 minutes to go, that's 2 laps. And now it's Lennon. It's Lennon trying to get past. Lennon trying to make a move here on Michael Helen. Helen is now the one who has to defend. It seems that ever since that little touch we saw, ever since that half spin we saw, Helen has decided to take a bit of the speed out of this race. I don't think he wants to risk anything for both the drivers. And as the race nears its end, as I said, about 2 laps to go, we have position number 2, Reis Notemboom, taking over from Jack Keithley, who unfortunately had to drop out of the race. And we have Andrew Kisielewski, who has been defending against Notemboom for a long time, for something like 20 laps or so in the course of the race. And now he's chasing Notemboom, and with only a lap to go, it looks as if Kisielewski is just a little out of reach. I don't think he can actually really still attack him unless Notemboom has one of these last lap moments that we sometimes see, but we haven't seen one with Reis. He is an extremely consistent driver, and I think that he will also put in a good last lap or second to last lap here, and it looks as if Kisielewski has no chance to really get close. So let's move back to the fight we saw before there. Ilsbrooks in 4, Helen in 5, and Gary Lennon in 6. Let me tell you that it's still the same lineup, but we're following race leader Tim Hogendoorn, and justifiably so. He is now in a position to win the race. It's I think maybe the last lap now, or the second to last lap, and he has a 33-second lead against second position Reis Notemboom. So really all he has to do is bring that spiker back home in 1, and the win will be his. And let's see if this is already the last lap for Tim.
Yeah, it is.
He's moving down and he's won the race. Oh, sorry, Jose, he is now on the last lap, or did he just pass? It's so difficult to see.
No, this is the last lap for Tim Eckert. But I think he will win anyway, but...
Never mind, let's follow him then on his last lap, because he really deserves it. He's the dominant racer here. He had a bit of a problem at the beginning of the race trying to get past Jack Keithley. I'm afraid we couldn't show you that on the screen. We were just down the grid somewhere at that point. But he got past, and ever since, that was I think about half an hour or so into the race, ever since he's been leading the race, and it really was his to lose. and he hasn't lost it. He is approaching the S's for the last time. It must be a great feeling to be in the lead after 90 minutes. And whoa, little slide there, so he's not taking it easy at all in these last laps. He's not going to lap the GG Racer anymore, don't worry. Now into Melbourne, and out of Melbourne again, and he only has about half a mile of virtual tarmac between him and his next win in the Sim Racing Team Challenge. And yes, indeed, he does lap the GG Racer. And we see him going down the straight, and it's a win for Tim Hogendoorn. It's a win for the Black Visors, and there we have the checkered flag. So let's now quickly move to position number 2, where we see Reis Notemboom. And whoa, massive slide there by Notemboom through Melbourne the last time, but Kisielewski is way too far away to be of any danger to him. We're watching Notemboom here going into Corvettes for the last time, and now down the straight, blue flag racer up there, already a lap or 2 down. And Notemboom does it. He is in 2. He brings home some very important points for GMT-DH Racing. Kisielewski in 3. And here come the fighters. Here comes Tom Isbrooks. And folks, he has done it. He has defended his position all the way. What a massive achievement there by Tom Isbrooks. He finishes in 4th. It's Helen in 5th for the Black Rebels. It's Gary Lennon for the Visors in 6th. And it's Ben Buitendijk now. He's had a little contact with the wall, we've heard, but he's regained his composure, and he is now in 7th. What do I say, composure? Look at him, sliding madly across the tarmac there, and through it in 7. In 8 we have Kevin Usher. In 9, Kevin Clark of the FlatOut Juniors. In 10, Cholet Maxence of Team GG, who is just now coming across the start and finish line. And congratulations to him too. In 11, Paul Bordeaux, also of GG. In 12, Christoph Babic of the Blue Flag Racing. And in 13, Matt Gray, but I can't really tell the positions from here because people are beginning to leave the race. Woo! That was it! And silence now for the anthem of the team winner, sorry, of the race winner, and that is Tim Hogendoorn, so it's the anthem of the Netherlands.
Yeah, I know. I've been in that same situation in some WTCC league. I was catching up with.
And that was the anthem of the winning country here tonight. That was Tim Hogendoorn's national anthem. No, that was the Netherlands, the Dutch national anthem. And let's see if Tim is with us now, so we can congratulate him on his superb win here at Virtual Donington. Tim Hogendoorn, are you with me?
Not yet, Eckhart. He's coming, but.
Who's with me at this point?
You have Andrew Kisielewski and Reis Notemboom with you now.
Oh, brilliant. So, congratulations first then to, I think, second position for Reis Notemboom. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Thank you very much.
Well, tell us a little bit about your race. Race from your view. You started in 6th and you finished in 2. What happened along the way?
Well, it's been a hectic race for sure. First of all, I totally messed up my qualifier lap, so that was a bit of a mess. So it got me 6th. I should have been able to get higher than that. So the first few laps I was chasing with Ben, I think. And after that I had a long fight with, I think it was Andrew, who drove pretty nice, but a few, especially the old chicane, I was faster, so I could catch up with him. But a few back markers here and there, but overall I had to push my car a lot just to stay behind him. And well, you know what happens when you chase somebody, you adjust your pace and all that. So I don't know. In the end, I'm pretty happy with 2nd. But shame with Jack, he blew his engine. So 10 laps before the end, I was driving real careful, afraid it was going to happen to me as well.
Yeah, blew his engine, so it was not some computer-related problem as usual, but it was really an in-game thing, simulated thing. So he must have maybe had not enough air intake to his engine or something.
Well, we run with high air intake. It was pretty safe. Oil temps were below 90 all race. So, I don't know, just shit luck, if I might say so.
Yeah, you might. It's awful, isn't it? Because really, Rami Kaukola had to leave the grid right at the beginning of the race for some reason still unknown. So you still had both cars in, whereas the Roaring Pipes Maniacs were down to only one car, and that started from position 19. So everything looked perfect for you until disaster struck. Still, you're in position number 2, so you're taking home a lot of points. High point for you of the race?
High point. Well, basically the whole race, the fights I had with Andrew were pretty nice, to be honest. I enjoy that. And yeah, it's unfortunate that Mike, that the RPM guys disconnected. Pretty unfortunate. Well, Jack blew his engine, so it evens out a bit, I guess. So.
Yep, the rest of us teams are really happy. So both of the top teams have lost a driver today, whereas FlatOut Club, I think, bring both home, and the Black Rebels also bring both home, and so do the Black Visors. So they're coming a bit closer to you, which is, of course, good for the series. Thank you very much, Reis. Great race by you. And let's talk to who's with me now. I think position number 3, Andrew Kisielewski. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm here.
Brilliant. Andrew, a few words from you about the race for FlatOut. How did it all work out?
The race went okay. I got in a couple incidents through the chicane there. 2 back markers got caught up, so I lost some time there about halfway through the race. And during the race, my one of the FlatOut junior guys lost in the last corner there. Kind of hit me, but it was a decent race. I had a fun race there for a second. It was really close, so it was decent.
Brilliant. And Tom Ilsbrooks, your team mate, is in 4, so you collect a lot of points. Have you spoken to Tom yet and his awesome fight defending against the Black Rebels coming up from behind?
Yeah, Tom did a really good job. We got some good points here, so we should be making up some ground now.
Yeah, definitely. Positions 3 and 4. Yeah, thank you very much. Andrew, was that your first race in the STC? I can't remember having seen you on the grid before.
Yeah, this was my first race with the STC, so it went pretty good.
Yeah, brilliant. What kept you so long to join us? It was great fun watching you, expert driving there. Nice fights you had, especially with Reis Notemboom, but also with other racers along the way. So, thank you very much, Andrew, for joining us here for the interview. Great race also, Reis. And let's see if Tim Hogendoorn, the race winner, is with us now. Tim, are you with me?
No, Eckhard, but we have Mikael Heren and Tom Ilsbrooks that made that great fight from for also almost all the race. Oh my God, my English.
Never mind. Mikael, you're with me. That's great. Tell us a little bit about that awesome battle we saw there between Ben, between Tom Ilsbrooks, and between Gary Lennon coming up from behind. From your perspective, the last 15 laps.
Well, it was more or less like a sandwich, I think, because there was no way around Tom. And every time I tried to attack him, Gary came up from behind. So, I don't know, I had to start thinking about defending my position as well as trying to attack. But, oh, it was a fun race.
Yeah, very close, and we saw some really expert driving there, really close, but everybody managed to really stay on track, except for Ben. Tell us, did you see him go off? What happened?
I actually told him that I think I can go faster than him, and maybe I should try to attack Tom for a while. And we made a little mistake while he letting me pass, so it was more or less a team
too bad.
failure.
Well, I'm sorry, something happens. So here's your opponent, Tom Ilsbrooks. Expert racing from you, Tom. We really enjoyed watching that. How did it feel with all these massive Corvettes on the back of your Marcos?
It was great fun. I will never forget. First, I have to say sorry to because I hit Michael when I lost the rear in the last hairpin, and I was very sorry for that. I was on the left side of the track, couldn't really see my braking marks very clearly. He braked, so I braked also, and then I lost the back and I touched his car. So sorry, I hate touches, but they have.
I got back there in the end, so I think it's 1-1.
yeah,
we saw it all.
Yeah, mate, that was some great driving you did there. Wow. I just had to if I don't make mistakes, I can keep it in front. But it was damn hard. My tires were gone, both tires. The left front is only 42% left, so I was struggling hard at the end. But that was one of the best races or greatest races I've ever done. That was. And I didn't do any practice. I think about 1 race, 10 laps or so, because I had to step in for Mateusz, who lost his connection. So
yep. Well, you were a really good substitute.
Yeah, I don't know why. I didn't do any practice laps right before quali, so my first lap was the quali lap, and not really ideal if you aren't in the mood. But that was, I could keep it together. It wasn't a really fast lap, but the rest of the race was just great. Thank you guys. Thank you everybody.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a nice sum up of the race. It was really great. It was really great watching you guys. Thank you all in the room with me. Congratulations again to the podium guys. Congratulations also to everybody who finished. And I think, Jose, let's wrap up the broadcast at this point, right? Shouldn't we?
Well, I would like to hear Ben, because he had an accident after being fighting with Tom for all the race, and I'm curious to know what happened to him.
Yeah, if he's with us, by all means. Before we wrap up the broadcast, Ben Buitendijk. Great battle there we saw between Mikael and you, and Mikael told us you talked on TeamSpeak and then something went wrong when Mikael tried to pass you.
Yeah, he told me to make room on the side. So I went to the outside and I touched the grass with one view.
Oh, too bad. And then you lost control basically. And how about your virtual ride? Was it okay afterwards or was it very twitchy?
It was a little bit damaged, but it was drivable.
Okay, so the last time we were here you actually scored a victory, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Sweet memories of that before the race today?
I started from 4th then, and this time from 5th, so...
yeah, good omen.
Yeah, last year I had some luck with disconnecting, crashing.
Yep.
I didn't expect it.
Yeah, but you were following closely, weren't you? And you weren't lapped, which the pace that Tim Hogendoorn put in is quite a feat in itself. I think he lapped all but the first 7 racers. I think that Kevin Usher in 8 was the last one to be lapped. So really staying in one lap meant you had a pretty decent pace throughout the race, and as we could see, you were busy all the time, fighting a lot the whole race. So, Ben, thank you very much for that information there, going wide because you hit the grass. And I don't want to sound impatient, Jose, but let's wrap up the broadcast, shouldn't we?
Yeah, I think it's time to to go doing other things and come back to real life after a great virtual race in virtual Donington, as you used to say, Eckhart.
Yeah, so here's real life Eckhart von Glan saying goodbye to you all at home, and thanks again to all the guys who joined me here in the broadcast room for the interviews. It's been great talking to you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was an enjoyable race for sure.
Okay, thank you very much to David Garcia, who was our spotter today, but who can't talk to us at this moment, I'm afraid. And thank you again for expert camera work and all the rest of the technical stuff, Jose. I think you've done a great job again.
Well, hope so, and hope people enjoy the broadcast. That's the important thing. That's
the main and important thing. So, let's be off, let's drink something cold, and let's enjoy the replay tomorrow. It's good night, folks, and see you again in a week with the GT Pros. Same track, same time, same place, but different racers and different rides. Bye-bye.